Okay, folks, I'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks. Right. You didn't have to get up. All right, first item on the agenda is to review the meeting minutes. For the meeting, sure. Stuff I can't. All right. I'll stand. All right. I will make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes with the noted corrections. Second, and any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous vote. Next item is the warrants. AP warrant, payroll warrant, and the pre-bill bill.
All set. I think we reviewed them. I will make a motion that we approve the warrants. All seconds. Any questions? Discussion? Go ahead, Rose.
Oh, yeah, like 8450 Atlas River.
All right.
I remember it like last night, I'm like, I didn't ask that.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of signing the warrants? EP,
I,
EP? Yeah, no, oh. We signed it when we did process, we double signed, so too.
we signed.
Right.
I don't think he's gonna.
Sign before you spend, we sign after you spend.
We sign it when it's. We.
Yep. Yeah. I'm blocked up paper, I always do the action.
all right, next item, under fire department, update, Chief Easy. The question I have on that, chief, so that those two sets of turnout gear is several $1,000s. Right. For the two pair. Now,
One pair? Okay.
well, what I was getting at is that, we've spent quite a bit of time Monday night going over your budget proposal for the upcoming special town meeting. Is the cost of that turnout gear included in your budget proposal, the revised budget?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all right. Perfect. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you. All right. Yeah, sounds good.
So still working within the budget. The additional funds we need. Okay, perfect. No message, but.
Okay, good. Yeah, all the kind of. Yeah. They're all. Super. Good. Good. The next item I had was to discuss the special town meeting, to reallocate some funds. So we're gonna have a special town meeting and we, we talked, before you left Monday night, we had talked, about some possible dates. We've actually moved that back a little bit. It's gonna be probably, early October before we have that special town meeting. But we have written, Doreen wrote the articles. We'll send them to you on email to, and you can take a look at them. It's pretty simple. So, anything else? Has anything else changed from the budget proposal that you presented to us on Monday night? And just so for the folks in the audience, we've had the fire truck that we bought from the town of Skowhegan, 3 years ago, chief, about 2.5 years ago. The pump is has worn out, basically. So we need to have some repairs made on the pump. Those repairs are coming in on the high side at about 28,000, on the low side, probably at least 22,000, somewhere in the middle. So we've had to rework the chief's budget to keep them in business for the rest of this year and get that repaired. So we could have to come back to the town at a special town meeting and ask for reallocation. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not going to add anything to the taxes. It's money, there's money in accounts that we already have that we're just going to move into the fire department account.
We're not looking for a full amount. It's gonna be a smaller amount than the full amount because there are still some funds left in their account. A little bit. Pinch.
You all set on that, chief? Okay. Any other discussion? All set? And then we did after later on in the evening, Monday, we were talking about funds, and we often talk about funds and stuff. And the question came up on the fire department salaries, and we talked about it some more. We think we understand it, but in the past, before the fire department, we made the changes recently, and you became chief. The fire chief had been paid salary. And then at the end of the year, there would be the fire department, or the volunteers basically didn't get paid during the year. And at the end of the year, it kind of worked out that whatever was left in the fire department budget, we tried to divvy it up and give the volunteer firemen, we called it a bonus, but it was basically a token, very small amount of money. We've had a lot of discussions because we went for several years, we couldn't get any firemen to join us. And fire departments all around us are starting to pay more money for their volunteer firefighters. Nowhere near what they should be paid but more than token. And we have followed through with that. And so we're doing that. And so the question came up was, like, for the chief and the salary positions, are they also getting hourly pay? And I think Charles and I were talking about it earlier this evening before the meeting started. And if I understand it correctly, and this is all in lieu, there'll be no more bonuses. They really weren't bonuses, but there'll be no at the end of the year, because the firemen, if they're called out to a fire, they're actually getting paid well, not a lot of money, but it's something to show our appreciation and help. And it has that, along with a lot of the other changes that have been made at the fire department recently. We now have a roster of how many people? It's 16 people now. So, and we went for years. For a while, we were down to like 3 people. So it's made a difference. Go ahead, Pat. I think it's all considered income, isn't it? Rose?
The way you have to report it's actually cleaner for it to be reported as employment income than as any kind of stipend and at a lower tax rate technically than. So yeah, as it's the best for in both cases.
Any other questions or discussion on that? Go ahead. That's my understanding. You understand that also, Charles?
Because the salary is for holding that position and the responsibilities. The hourly is showing up and being there at scenes. Though the two should be related. We, to maintain the actual time there, we want to make sure that they're being compensated, even, for showing up and doing what they need to be doing.
Okay, and then the last thing on that we had on the agenda was just a fire truck update. And I'll- I don't see us paying for shipping.
And technically, we have to accept the proposals, do we not? Yeah. They would pay us for the.
I'm just reading the fire department.
Yeah.
Well, and we also talked Monday night about parking it up closer to the road, just putting a for sale sign on it to see if a local farm might want to buy it. Farmers do buy a lot of these old fire trucks. Okay. Oh, if there's a safety risk, I don't want to move it.
And,
Yes, all right. Yeah, yeah, I think, all right.
If it's possible, pull the throttle cable, just pull the throttle cable, just make sure it can happen.
Yeah.
Don't want to find out it's creepy across the road. It seems to have its own will.
that,
I'm just saying, if we put it out there and put some wheel chucks.
I will make a motion that we allow the fire department to list the old Ford fire truck on the Facebook Marketplace. To start at 7,500 and to drop as low as it maybe 4,000. And if it goes below 4,000, if you don't get any offers, we'll make a decision later. But we'll start it at 7,500 on the marketplace, and we'll give fire department an ability to. And we'll also move it up and put a for sale sign up next to it. And if your tractor, because yours is hydrostatic, and I have a bigger tractor now that's mechanical shift, it's much stronger and bigger frame. I could pull it with mine, because hydrostatic, you could damage your hydrostatic drive. Yeah. So,
I have. But
see me after the meeting or offline, contact me, we'll set it up and I'll come down with my bigger tractor. So we have any other discussion, questions on the motion for 7,500 on Facebook Marketplace? And
Seconded.
also moving it up. from up the road, this is. We have a second?
Believe Green seconded.
All right. Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous, Rose? Anything else, chief? All right, thank you. Next item is tax commitment. Time of year we all don't wait for.
So, what do you think?
Update numbers, yeah. For some reason I missed something there, so.
So that's that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
60 days later. So the mill rate. Okay. It's 1 mil higher than last year. We stayed the same last year as the year before, so there was no increase in taxes last year, unless somebody made improvements or changed their property somehow, the tax.
Separating that out, that is roughly the increase from school. Otherwise than that, the budget has stayed exactly the same, so the 65,000 or so that we were increased from the school. That equates to 1 mil point, so that is what we're looking at. So the town budget has not drastically changed from last year. It was just the increased amount for the school assessment that drove that. So yeah, in full disclosure. Yeah. Seems to match up with my expectations. And what we discussed, so that is I forwarded the numbers that we discussed. The revised numbers that we discussed today. And that was the amount.
Have to check the town, the public now. Yeah, I thought we ended up in the end, we didn't change. anything.
I was under the impression as well, but we can check.
Off the top of my head.
Now check the tape. It's replays in the tape. Getting everyone back in here. You have the approved. We did, yes.
But it was not.
Didn't Don Barry tell us?
Fiscal year 23, 6%, 8%, 10%. And it says if legal, it reverts back to the original. That's not. Most non-schools. And, you know, these are mine, these are mine, and we discussed if legal, it would go back to the original. They should be in the correct. But that kind would be. Not sure.
We need to check that.
So the original, it's Article 31, see what actually town taken the pledge to charge an annual 6% on all paid for 60 days after. That is the discussion. Motion was made to up the lake. Mentioned to 6% on first. Lots of discussion about fairness, is this legal, let's stagger and move charge. The moderator and the select board check the statute, they do not go back. Because those rates are dependent on the way they come. Motion on the floor charges 6% for 2024. And after that, the rate goes to 8% additionally. So if their 2024 is not paid, then it will pass in this part. Motion is second to review. But it should have been legal note. If legal, it would revert back. If not legal, illegal. If illegal, it reverts back to the original article. Original article written. See what action the town is taking to charge an annual 6% on all unpaid tax. It's 6%. You cannot change the interest rate, which is on the term basically contract. I I'm giving you a tax bill. I cannot change it from time to time. That's what it was being legal for one state, 6% increase. So my fiscal year 2025, I think it would be 8%, and then 8% has to say 6%. What 8%? It was my first year. We thought that is the No, I think he was more saying it wasn't legal to change the interest. Yep. Once we post the warrant, it's legal. I mean, that's, the saying. It's their choice. Sometimes scheduling them out. But no, basically it's like, you're taking out a mortgage. We don't do a fluctuating rate. We're gonna tax you for 6%. In fiscal year 2024, it's 6% longer. You can't change it to 8% next year. Once you put it into the computer, it's
So if the town wanted to, if I'm understanding this correctly, if the town wants to make a change, but say we wanted to go to 7%, we would have to post that in the town report, put it on the warrant for the town meeting. That would have to go forward, so everybody could see it ahead of time that we're gonna charge. The proposal in the town warrant is to charge 7 or 8%, whatever. Then that, we can't change it, because what we,
make a motion that.
that makes,
The new max is 8.5 now.
Hmm.
They did raise the maximum, it can be now in.
well, I think that's something,
I'm not
something that,
stating things we should do.
I think that's something that should be on the agenda of the budget committee. Related, well, this year, or late, or next year. Or late. In the budget committee. So. Can't change it during time.
Right.
meeting.
But me, I'm never favor. And they're saying, you're not gonna foreclose on the home because you're not behind the tax, just one and two years, add one lady fee, but every month. And so being on that side of the county, you have to be confident that they pay, because they've got no home. They choose not to pay, and not because that many years, and choosing was not to pay the thing. That's when they're scheduled, that's, life, something happened in one, this is when I have the money, when they have it once a year. But when you have those people coming to the county, almost in tears, please don't foreclose on the property. Like, speaking for myself, I would never. do the things that no one else is. And Yep. You have to think of that. You have to think of that. You have to think of that one person. Who wants to think that to be, so.
No, we're moving forward
No.
to the tax.
I get it. Yep.
Yeah.
But I get it, but again, it's that those handful of people, there's a handful, there's 3 seconds. I'm just. Like
We
this
can do
last
that right
thing,
now.
I don't have it, or this is just one I have for that here, and I just think of that, what elderly couple, something happened during their life where they lent out money, didn't get repaid, and that money was their property tax. So now every year they go to home and come in every month, and you gotta tell them. They just think the answer is gonna be different. That's why I don't have.
And
Not to go lower to help pay the bill, not to go higher to.
Okay, so, back to tax. commitment. Uh,
I was looking for where it said the big percent on. Yeah, it's on the last page.
we can still sign it. With that change. That change. So we ready to make the motion to, sign the tax committal paperwork with the, change from the 8 to the 6%. Page, which page is it?
Third page.
Page 3.
Page 3 or 4.
Looking here at some guidance from the state and Maine municipal. At any meeting of the legislative body previous to tax commitment, the amount can be raised, as well as the dates of which it will go into effect. At any before commitment. So if we had a special town meeting tonight, we could have raised it. I'm not saying we're going to, but going to Maine municipal instead of Maine.
Yes, we have a motion. We have a second from Doreen. Any other discussion on tax committal? Seeing none. All those in favor? Unanimous vote.
Then we give them your personal cell.
Thank you.
Sometimes having to look up. Just to kind of wait for the planning board, kind of jump around. We discussed.
No, I didn't.
We won't include those. We won't meet. We'll just have to maybe put them in. Possibly review and see what, how many pages can this thing? But in that little thing where you just fold it and put it, like they did that, just one page, but it's. Longer. But I think the majority of the people. I was just. And it's cheap. Maybe just, it it may be where you just put it on the website, link that they can download it. If they need. Or email it printed. Or download it printed. That way you're being. Right, I'm just saying, if we can always have it. If you mail it out, they want it to be. If you mail it out. Probably spend. I sent out and.
I did read.
Thinking that we put a committee together before. I don't know, like, what happened in the last meeting. Yeah, I think we just. Kind of putting it together. We have Friday. We have to review it, so we're probably gonna. Have to select one. But I would. No problem. I did
Yes.
quickly before I came, but I didn't open that. As a read. Oh.
Nice. I saw the image about it. Just so the audience knows, Johnny Hazard, she and her husband, worked on, they cleaned up the old meeting room at the old fire station. And, they had a bunch of medical type equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, things of that sort, donated to the town. And, they're gonna be stored there. And Johnny, she's our public health person for the town of Thorndike. And Johnny is spearheading that program, and some people have already taken advantage of that. That stuff is free.
Yeah.
I've already looked at these two on my phone, I thought I'd put out one.
While we're waiting for the planning board, we'll just move to the next item. Heidi Sorensen, as a member of the planning board, has requested to attend some training sponsored by the Maine Municipal Academy. And what was that? Yeah, it was $150. So I will make a motion that we approve Heidi to attend that training. Any questions, discussion?
She has an email. I'll tell her to, I know what the email says that register the film. Have her. I'll have her register for that, and register for that class ASAP. Yep, so we do. Well, it's motion, we haven't voted on it yet, but while you're right there and I got your attention. So I got an email today and it said it's filling up fast, so.
Well, let's go ahead. If there's no other discussion or questions, let's call for a vote. All those in favor? Unanimous. You can register. All right, the next item on the agenda is a discussion. We have a planning board position to fill. Michelle Lewis resigned her position from the planning board, and we posted the position 2 weeks ago, and we've had no interest. And we have positions prior over the last several months that we tried to fill, and we had them posted for a long time and nothing happened. So Doreen has volunteered as the select person to, in the interim, until we can find somebody to take the position. She has volunteered to step in, so that the planning board can keep moving ahead with, I know you guys are doing a lot of work, and I'm sure you need the help, so.
The planning board ordinance does allow up to one select board member to serve on the planning. In the ordinance, it literally says up to one select board yes. Up to one select board member can serve on the, it says no more than one select board member can serve on the planning.
Well, let's let Patty finish her statement and then we'll move to you.
I'll speak to that because I'm not, go ahead, please.
Well, no, Mike's first. Oh, go ahead, Mike. All right, go ahead, Heidi.
We sort of stagger. You understand. I don't mind, and it's very,
You served as the secretary, right?
Still have them. We still have them. So, if that's where you're going, that in mind.
And well, no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll speak to that. That, okay, so when the idea first came up, I said, is this going to be a long-term, is it fine, short-term? And we did discuss that this would be something that we'd be looking to do while a position is still sought to be a full-time serving member, and this would be for the time being until we could find, so basically an interim person serving on the board. Also, I will speak to Doreen's record of any time where there has been a question of a conflict of interest. She has abstained from the voting on that. So based upon that record, there is not a prohibition. There's a suggestion that there could be question about it, but it is not a prohibition of them serving on both. The prohibition would be something as this is example. If the person was one person was on the planning board and one person, and they're also on the appeals board. Because one's setting the rules and one's reviewing the rules, that would not be appropriate if a married couple or people directly related, one serving on appeals, one serving on planning board, that would be a conflict as well. But in the case of the select board and the planning board, I personally don't foresee this, and I will put forward that I tend to be the one to look through and find whether things are legal or not legal. I go very in depth, just speaking strictly as to where I stand. I believe where we stand is we agreed is for the time being, the position is still out and available for other people to put in letters of interest. If anyone is interested, please come forward, because as a board, we tend to be very taxed doing a lot of things. So I applaud Doreen for stepping up and offering to help in that way until a permanent member is determined. I don't foresee where we cannot allow it. And that's where I stand. And
First,
which,
I didn't.
okay, okay. You could forward that. I'd be,
I'm familiar with the term incompatible positions, but who makes the judgment on the?
this is from MMA, I believe. Actually, well, to further clarify that, if I will take a what if devil's advocate on this. So let's say that the Green were to take the planning board position and it is found to be incompatible, and it is true that that person would need to resign the previous position. You cannot resign from a select board until the other board members approve that resignation. So even if it de facto caused them to resign, they can't automatically resign until we accept that resignation. And the only ways that would apply would be, I believe, major crimes and death. Those are only two that don't require. So I will double check on that. Okay. Yes.
We have that level of then, well, we know we say no either. If I that would not nothing is moved forward. We get through it, so we can leave. So the then once we As the chair. I don't have this. I don't want to take it. Every. Well, this is how I feel.
Go ahead, Wendy. Rose. We'll look into that. The manual that you're talking about, Janet, that you sent Rose, is this, I mean, a current dated manual? That- Almost.
Mhm.
My God, there would be no lots more than 50. But that's not. Money is nothing.
I, looking over not only this document as well as the planning board ordinance and bylaws from another area, specifically York, County of York, which I believe we can all agree is a well-established town that has been going on for quite some time. They do reference, I would assume they would have a much more full set of documents. They do mention, in circumstances whereby it generally not approved for them to be any other elected or appointed office, where there would be incompatible, duties. That being, and they do list, certain things where they would, have conflicts. And then it does also reference that to the select board has the power to make, to allow a member in that would normally not be eligible, to make them eligible under the, either as a non-voting member or as a voting member. So if the town of York has already thought about this and made specifications saying that the select board has the power to empower a member either as a non-voting or as a voting member, that I would imagine theirs to be fully lawful. So with what I say here and here, where this does not prohibit it, it suggests that it does not occur. That is unfortunately not a legal no. And I'm also not seeing here where there, I do see the board's role in accepting votes for an office, which is incompatible with one already held, automatically vacates first office as though, he or she had actually resigned it. Again, that refers back to the fact that they can't resign until you officially accept their resignation. That's in Maine state law. That if I wanted to resign today until the other board members select, accept my resignation, I'm not officially resigned. They have to accept my resignation before I'm allowed to resign. And the fact that York has this wording that the ordinance specifies the ability for it to occur, I see what's being said here, but I don't see it as invalidating what we were looking to do in this case. And I will state if that I would not accept a resignation for these causes. I would not accept the resignation, whether it be automatic or otherwise, in these causes, if that were to be the case. I would just simply ask that person be removed from the planning board to still maintain that other position if it were to become illegal. So I will make the motion. I believe, are we at that point to accept motion? We're still at discussion. Discussion.
Well,
Continue,
we have
please.
one more.
So on which thing? The paper? Okay, so there is, this is, where is this specifically from? From MMA? Okay, so MMA Planning Board Met. This is an excerpt from this. With a specific, so this is the full page, this is an excerpt from this page. Yes. Yes. Oh, no, it's right here at vacancy. It's right above there. Course have ruled in accepting and taking.
All right, I think we're ready. If you want to make a motion, Charles.
Yes. I will go ahead and make a motion to accept, Doreen's letter of interest and, request to join to be appointed, as a member of the as a member of the planning board to fulfill the open vacancy until such time as another person is voted to or is appointed to fill the position. Sorry, that was lengthy. So accept interest, appoint to position. If you have suggestions of other ways we can search for people, okay, then that's perfect. And Doreen, do you accept, the, being put forward as a candidate with the acknowledgement that if another person is put forward is brought forward, that is eligible and is, I think the word here. Not eligible, but is qualified to fill the position, that we will move forward with appointing that person.
That's up to be on the planning board until
Yes.
another candidate either wants to step forward and take.
I just want to make sure it's on the record as such. Look perfect. Discussion. Does anyone wish to second that? Jeff, would you like to second that?
Well,
If we want to discuss it, you have the second and then we can discuss.
I'm gonna second it.
Okay.
And,
Discussion.
and the discussion is, I think at the same time, I have mixed feelings because I worry that there could, I have concerns that it's the optics. Do I think that there's anything, dishonest going on here? I don't. And I know the planning board has worked very hard and they need help and they want help. And Doreen works very hard and would be a big help. So, I am very inclined to vote in the affirmative. My only concern is that I just want to add is, I think we as a board, should consult with MMA. I mean, after whatever the vote is tonight, we should still consult with MMA just to make sure that we are on solid ground. And
Before she takes.
before she takes the oath. And I would volunteer to contact MMA and just make sure we're solid. But I, in my opinion, because the planning board needs help, I think we should move forward with the vote tonight. Rather than hold it up or table it. We have people that have worked very hard for the last several months and they need to see some support from this board. I want to be part of that support. Go ahead, Mike. What's that?
If there's concerns,
Well, I mean, I understand how you feel that way, but my concern is it would be alleviated if I talk to MMA tomorrow and they say, this is completely appropriate. I'm all good.
As with any actions that we, sorry. As with any action we take, if it's illegal, it's illegal. So by taking the action and then verifying, there's no issue with that. It's just simply we are voting to appoint her. We just simply ask before it gets into a point where taking that oath may potentially have repercussions. Jeff will just verify with MMA that there is no issue with that. And once he's verified that, I don't believe we have to come back here and meet again. Okay,
We can amend it.
That way you.
so I will go ahead and amend the motion. That the oath is not to be taken until it is independently verified with MMA that this will not, that it will not be a conflict of interest. Do you want me to?
No, no. It's a form confirmation. We don't put it.
Okay,
That way you don't have to come back. We're saying now. If there's, if MMA has a issue, then it won't.
I think my concern is you're gonna go talk to the man and you get,
That's not,
She sends you with you.
Exactly. So
Okay.
what you guys tell me, then it's not, I'm just saying, vote. Just, I know what, you mean is long, but now, if you word it so you don't have to do that. So the amendment is, the vote just to be signed,
But the oath
yes.
is from my amendment. I motion to amend the motion that the oath not be signed until confirmation is made that the officers will not be incompatible.
I'll second that amendment. And the next thing we have to do is there any discussion on the amendment? Do you have a discussion on the amendment, Charles? No. Anybody else? All right, seeing no discussion, we have to vote on the amendment. So I call for a vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
And
And abstain. Yep.
Now we go back to the amended motion.
To agreeing to the board un- until such time as another person is appointed, we fill the term, contingent upon the oath not being signed until it is verified that the officers.
yeah.
We're appointing her now.
Yeah.
She cannot sign until we verify. She can't sign the oath until it is been.
Until we talk, and I'll be on the phone with MMA first thing on the week.
But what I'm trying to say is the oath will be signed once verification is done,
Yes,
without coming back.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that is how we, no, there's no further voting on it. There's no further, to clarify, no further vote is required. No vote upon. the
Everybody
motion is
understand what
required.
we're doing? So now we're there's no further discussion or comments on the motion to appoint Doreen pending, and then she can't be sworn into office in the planning board until I get a verification from MMA that we're not violating some state statute or serious violation, some kind of serious violation. I'll
And
Yes.
you know, just to, the only reason that I put forward to be on the planning board was to have to continue to streamline all the systems, but again, it was always put out there. I asked Mike first, and then
Yeah.
and I said, I don't expect it to be now. I said, but they have a lot of work to do. I don't mind being here every other Wednesday, leave Wednesdays, have a ride, you know, so it was just more of to be able to help them out. And that was my only reasoning. And then it was always help them out until we can find everything. That is my only reason is to help them out. And that-
And also for discussion, I will bring up that in the York one, I know we're not York. They specify even circumstances, under special circumstances, that it's permissible for incompatible offices to be held under special circumstances. So that is one of the reasons behind my agreeing to move forward despite these documents. If that's permissible and there's nothing in our ordinance against it, then I stand by moving.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Yeah.
I got no knowledge, there you go.
Perfect. No, we do not.
Now, I will be on the phone with, I'll call MMA first thing in the morning. Usually I have to leave, you have to leave a message and they'll call you back, but they usually call back before the end of that same day. So we will move this as quick as. All right, next item on the agenda. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you, folks. The next item on the agenda is a select board resignation, and that I'm announcing my resignation from the select board. Originally, when I informed the other two members of the board of my resignation, it was going to be effective October 31st. But in our discussions about what happens after that, that's next on the agenda, we may have to move my resignation effective date up. And the reason for that is because we're going to hold, the position is immediately going to be put out for election. Nomination papers will be put out. And I said, we'll talk about that. But back to the resignation, I want to say that it's been a pleasure to serve the town of Thorndike, and I still plan to be active in town government, but it's just time for me to step aside and ready to do that. And I'm ready to.
And to minimize the time without a full, the hope is to schedule that special meeting, an election, and essentially the resignation will be immediately followed by the election of the new department. So election will be held, resignation, and a new person comes in. So there will be no reduction of the board over time in which the. All right. Well, we can discuss before we make that motion. So.
Well, I don't know what the discussion is.
So October 4th, for the election, would there be availability for an election to be on October 4th? Yes, I am.
My discussion is
Say something real quick.
Yeah.
Something we neglected to do Monday night, and I apologize to Rose already personally. Friday is Rose's day off. And in our discussions, Monday night at the workshop, Rose isn't there at the workshop. We neglected to remember that Fridays is Rose's day off. And we ended up scheduling an election on her day off. So I apologize for not remembering.
Whether it's in the room. So. I do have a lot of. So it's actually a policy, you're thinking about the decisions. You're not going to be involved, me having. Your office.
Mhm.
I think it's hard for me to know the fourth is fine, but I'm available. The election is fine. Get that.
And on October 5th, we currently have a bulky waste day, which is from 9 to 1. So the plan is to, with acceptance of the clerk, to hold the town meeting after the bulky waste day has been completed. So there'd be 3 p.m. would be available. Thank you.
My focus of the video, for that day, and we want to No, I appreciate the offer, and if I could send them in, I just think that in the comments, that would be a long time to do it. That works for me.
So then I motion to have a special town meeting scheduled for October the 5th at 3 p.m. and for election for the select board position being vacated be held on Friday, October 4th. Polls are generally open from 8 a.m. to 8. That's fine.
I think we need to.
So from 26 on October the I have a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of having the special town meeting on the 5th and election on the 4th? Okay. So. So I would want to thank Jeff for, time he's served so far and the time that he is, willing to, continue to serve until we are able to, fill the position again, after the town meeting.
Always have an agreement, but always need to. Agreement. Be nice working with you.
Okay. So, to that end, I will, with the approval of the clerk, mention that nomination papers will be available tomorrow. They will be, no, they will have until September the 20th, which is roughly 30 days, or which is roughly 30 or 31 days. The main statutes have specifications as to the length of time required, but that can be adjusted such that at least 10 days for nomination papers are given and 14 days with nomination papers to be due no less than 14 days before the election. Okay. Okay, so then with nomination papers to be completed and returned no later than end of business on September the 19th. At which point then that is 15 days before the election, which still abides by the 14-day minimum rule. I'm not sure if I'm motioning or just stating that this is the case. I'm not sure if I need to motion for nomination papers available or is that just the de facto situation?
I'll state that.
Okay. So I'm just making
We
it
made a
clear.
motion for the meeting date.
Yes.
State statute for you.
So that's just making clear. So if anyone knows of it, if anyone's aware of a person that would be interested in filling Jeff's shoes, seeing if you're wearing boots, please have them come to the town office to get a nomination paper. Believe that is case 25. Like, probably-
We don't have.
No, I would generally not require them to turn turn in more than one paper. So if they wish to come for another paper, you're welcome to say. Um, yes. Um, I would also like to state, given the circumstances, if a person is interested in, putting their putting a nomination paper in a, public place. I have no, I would say that I do not foresee any issues with a person putting a nomination paper in a public place to receive signatures or as such. I would ask, does anyone on the board have issue with, a person getting, putting nomination papers in a public place to be completed or signed? I'm saying, like if he were to put, up someone's nomination paper on the table there for people to sign, I do not know of any issue of that as long as there's a person in, attendance there. Okay. I would just ask that any businesses, any places that do that, do not discriminate against. Okay, perfect. I would just hope that no places, I would just hope that no places discriminate and are open to all parties. 25, no less than 25 registered voters. So I will reemphasize. I'll reemphasize that they need to be received by end of business on September the 19th. September the 19th. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, the next item on the agenda is an update on the Mill Road. I'll let Doreen.
Hang on. He has not submitted his resignation. He has to do so on paper. So,
Sure. I see how you're.
I just want to make sure we're doing things correctly, that was all.
we've simply put forward, the town meeting date and made aware that the election will be occurring. We are aware that the position has not been officially resigned, but we are making, aware that we are, that it is something to occur. If the position were not to be, resigned, then anything thereafter would be, null and void in relation to the election.
So we're all set to move forward now? All right, next is the update on the Mill Road, and I'll let Doreen give us an update.
And so I looked at Mill Road and could see where the drainage issue was reviewed at Kronowski. And we went through it over last week. So basically, drainage roof, we go in front of one of the walls. Because some of the water was coming from the parking lot and parking lot. Overflow, filling the snow trucks, and berms, on Spain. It's all been smoothed out figure, they smoothed out the perfect dirt. And built in.
Any questions?
I don't want anywhere either, once they stay right there. Yeah, well, it is the intention that when Alfred is doing that, I think it's told to grab a scoop, but like really, real comfortable getting a big pile. We have thought about the small, it's just comes down to money, you know, this is probably something. Because in order, to, you know, you can't just function. Gotta get the post. Covering it over so people can have a little lean, some salt. That's just barely safe. So, salt is released, yeah. So it is a plan, but before we get to that point, if we do that, we could do, we need to stay in small. Cover it up with tarp, kind of burdensome when you cover with the tarp, so. But we plan on asking Alfred, please, loading his truck, so we could just pull this big pile and grab, put it off to the side. It probably be further off the other side. We gotta get back to it. We'll be discussing it just to make sure everything's good. No, I do want a small part of size. Don't want it coming down because if especially there could be a crevasse underneath it and you can look like a sheet of sand. Yeah. 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 No, we're hoping to be happy. It's just meeting of tasks, you know, like me there instead of being the same side. Yep. We'll try to make it so obviously. So that's awesome. Try and figure out. And another reason to have it out. Just gotta find the perfect spot to be able to put it, not to close the pile on top to get to there, it's not banking it in. Maybe it's if we can figure out where to put it, we can just do the smaller, we'll do it back. File. We'll work on it. Hard, you always have to be 6 months.
Yeah.
They can always get, I mean, over to, they have. Right, yeah, I mean, I said it's hard, but it's the fact that you get 2 pieces. And everything, hard off, people are gonna hack through it to get to the seat, so. Right, yeah. I mean, it may be a situation that they can find a way to. With those, um, change toys, the new snowmobile, they can find a way to put a couple of those. There, we get 2 of them and put them together. Then it could be just a situation. We do something. Yep. Yeah, so if we can get it off. Flat, rain on it. Definitely work. We want people to have accessibility and safety.
Okay. Next item, speaking of thinking ahead, the motion to order winter sand and salt, that time of year again. Never saying it's all shit. We usually set.
Anytime now, so, you know, if we could make the motion. Over there.
So do we want to?
Oh, the orders. Yeah, so he went in and he measured, anybody knows anything about materials. I kind of figured we would be, I have figured 25. So I'd like to make a motion to allow, order from James and gravel, 2,600 cubic yards. And, to approve 4 roads.
I'll second that. motion. Any discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor? Thank you.
Another motion to put on there, to do that, it'll eliminate me. I don't make a motion like John. Call center. We can keep it, you won't get any phone when you need it. Because it ends up being phone free. If I have to call home, the guy, but can't deliver it on Wednesday. And that's up to 4 loads. We usually do 5. Or he thinks we need 4 loads. Authorize John to go ahead and contact. He needs-
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? Question? All those in favor? Unanimous votes. Anything else on the roads, Lorraine?
Yes, that. He's gonna fix the water. And then it's been over to us, we go back and do the policy, and let us speak to the beauty side. So I said, I'll mention to him tonight, so we can get into it, so we can get into all of the stuff that we will work on. You said something about, yeah. It's a bit of a- we have to drop off, but we should be.
There was quite a puddle there, and they talked to John and stuff. And, I'll have to go and take a look. Over. I've heard about the over being. Yes. Because the only other person. There's Schmidt and maybe one of them. We've got a new driveway.
Small building.
If there's a new driveway, that's over issue. We can make it first.
Quite a bit further.
When they go on to the land, to the land, somebody will have to go put that over and do it across the road. So it's not even coming from the ditch, it's not really the road, it's the line. You have to talk to him
I'll
about
go
it.
take a look at it, you know, with this new information, with more of a, basically, he has a new driveway.
Yeah.
And the driveway is down, it needs additional material coming up, so basically, you have, the road is here, the driveway.
And that's what he's saying, yeah.
So basically, if your driveway is lower than the road, and you're gonna hit.
But he was talking about the water was going to, he used to be. for that. Things. Oh, not today, I haven't seen.
Yep, no, for this additional. And John is gonna go take. Basically, but he said I didn't look at the ditch, but it's supposed to be 3, but it's a whole 2 feet down. He's working on, he has it in schedule, to put more material, we need to approve back in May. More material on, Carson. We already. took the meeting.
All right. Next, Rose has requested to buy 2 hand dryers for the bathroom so we can save trash.
In the outlet for there.
I make a motion that we go ahead and purchase the two hand dryers, hair dryers. And price on the two, $129 a piece. So we'll say $250. Motion for $250 to purchase two hand. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Road. DMV training for Rose and Kay.
I could not pick the truck from you. So anything I do the same day and just kind of.
Next is the MMA ballot. We have the first. This is an MMA annual election for vice president and executive committee members. And they have the vice president is a one-year term. We have for the vice president position, we have a guy by the name of Justin Poirier, who is running for that position. He has a long, he's currently the town manager for the town of Monmouth, and he has all kinds of training. He has a Master of Public Policy and a Bachelor of Arts in Public Management. University of Maine and University of Massachusetts, all kinds of certifications. The next person is running for a 3-year term on the MMA Executive Committee. His name is David Sear. He's the town manager for the town of Frenchville. I believe that's up in Worcester County. And he's also been the Mars Hill Town manager. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering from the University of Maine in Orono, and again, has multiple affiliations and certifications and training. And then we have another person running for that same position is Michelle Marullo Cole, select person for the town of Bethel. She has a Bachelor of Science from the University of Vermont and graduate from Mount View High School. She holds administrative certification and professional experience as chief administrator, American Ski Company, executive assistant, Sunday River Corporation, multiple positions, affiliations and certifications. And then the last person is Matthew Garside, town manager, town of Poland. He has a master's in public administration, finance and economics from Harvard University. Bachelor of Science from Massachusetts Maritime Academy. He holds a bunch of experience and affiliation. So one person for MMA vice president is Justin Poirier, and then we have 3 people for the executive committee. I don't know anything about any of those people, so I really take no position on it at all. Mount Blue, no, Mount Blue.
Oh,
Mount Blue. I don't know.
I thought you.
Sorry.
In regards to the 2 years. That David C. County. Name. And then. And then you look for the credentials. The vote. Active. Just. Yep, we will have that. Look at the affiliation. Part of the station. First one, David C. He's already been on second executive. The main municipal association executive committee member. Is also on the North Region the main department of transportation regional advisory. Public advisory committee for the main department. of transportation. American Health Board, Executive Board, Development Committee revolving home. Bud responsive fire company. I didn't read it. Universal. I was just looking at and the affiliation of certifications for the national guard. For the main town and city management association in the United States. Sounds like, I would be more scared to, putting my name. Agency of county, principal name.
You want to make the motion for that?
Maybe we ought to have for both. And then.
I'll second the motion. Any questions? None? All those in favor? Except for Mr. Seer.
David, will be the committee for 3 years.
Second that motion. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? So you mark that off. It's today's date. It's 21st. The municipality of Thorndike. You guys okay if I sign this?
I'll explain also why I stepped out real quick. I was looking at the 2024 planning board offered, not line board, 2024 select board. Nine. And it addresses the question that we had previously discussed, such that, and it basically comes down to if it was an old board, or a new board, such that it was established after September 23rd of 1971. And as long as the board was established or reestablished after 1971, that there would, that no conflict would exist. Only if it's in conflict. At which point the planning board's also informed me they'd like to come back and debate shortly. That's something they. Oh, it may be even more updating, yes.
Yep.
So I implore Jeff to still verify, but I would make sure that they align their answer with the new select board manual they put out. Page 107, which discusses select board and planning. This is of their 2021 manual. So the new select board manual. And that should, for municipal officermen, to be clear, municipal officermen. I say select board, but it's municipal office. And they should be able to clarify that passage. To make it- I don't know when the last one came out.
MMA. Annual on. No, you go into MMA and you see.
If,
So
if
was
if the old,
possibly one, so I would say if you get rid of one quarter. In case we need to grab it, can't find it, it's easier. Not that.
there have been sending a new one to us for, for $50. Yeah, or if you're a non-member, 130.
All right, next item is supplies for the cemetery. And Warren, you want to make a motion on that?
I'd like to make a motion, I sent Rose a motion for the marble epoxy, and marble thing at river preservation. And also for the no water that roof of our house. Just have a reserve battery, but that, you know, that would be good. You don't have to have that. I've already sent the epoxy and the marble themes. That was about maybe 40 minutes. And then, yeah, sorry. And then I think I saw the bad piece of it's 200. We will be going.
I make a motion, we authorize those expenditures. We already have the information. Seconds, any discussion, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
We need. What do you think?
And then
Which further reinforces my previous statement.
And
Doreen, you wanted to just mention that the cemetery committee is now meeting at 4:30 at the center cemetery instead of,
no, for our meeting next week, really last Thursday of the month, 6 o'clock. So we're having board and work. Everybody's invited to attend. We're here. We'll be excited to see there's any book work. The cemetery committee. We have all the tools. So we meet at second cemetery at 4:30. Yep. Only that one. When we start.
Ralph, do you have anything else? We call the planning board in?
I do not. Don't believe I do, these.
Rose?
I do. But we probably appreciate that. Everything's been held over. You know. Thank you. And then I'll ask that.
Put forward. Yeah. So this quick claim deed. It's. It doesn't say here who it's. Oh, there. All right, gotcha. Yep.
it's all. We have to do it without. We have that. What do you have to do? We thought we- you know, you can build a- Didn't really build on the one lot.
Yeah.
You still got 30 questions, minus one. It looks like two lots, it's still different.
You need us to sign that.
I need to.
Motion to go ahead, go sign the deed from the property.
Depends on usually there would be lien. So you'd have a lien for fiscal year 2020, and then you'd have the lien with what. Three. Yeah.
Any seconded? Any questions? Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous? And signed.
Thank you. So again,
Well, I would have him pay it less than this. I mean, the benefit that you. Oh, yeah, no, but want to make sure it's.
Please. Next, I'm gonna ask.
Have we filled the real estate prices? And I think that there.
We could think, what kind of site? You think we're talking kind of site? We're ready.
I think so.
I'm going to first element. We are. To make sure. Yeah. We up and we're blocked.
That's a lot of lots.
We were blocked.
I know.
For making sure that. Came to that. That we have blocked.
But there's an ambiguity.
Yes, we have gone down. We should try, but they can try this. Build it. And we're at one.
Mhm. Continuous.
Last week. We were trying to go to 9, but that was so. 5.
Mhm.
April meeting.
Mhm.
You know. Not either. We are trying to go back.
Mhm.
We are not. Make it change, maybe slowly. It's first stage.
Yeah. Clarifying, simplifying. Yeah.
Been a while. You need to build it first.
Mhm.
Whether you.
Whether I build it, whether I dragged it, or whether I dropped it. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I agree.
So we did.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Have another public hearing.
Sounds great. Thank you. Doreen, did you have anything else?
I'll say at that time that it is available, I would ask, once we have a chance to review it, I would love to have a time in which the board and the planning board and select board can, kind of play devil's advocate, go through and just make sure that what we read is what you intended, such that when we have a public hearing, we are presenting a united front. What I'm gonna say is, once it is available for us uh, to look over, I would ask, to then set a meeting at the soonest occurrence thereafter. Before we put it out for a public hearing so that we are all on the same page and we can stand together. Yes, well, I'm speaking to the public hearing where we had a difference as to interpretations and there shouldn't be interpretations, there should be this. So that's, I'm just saying, which I absolutely don't want. Yes. I think we agree on that. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike.
All right.
Anything from anybody else? Anybody in the audience? Have anything? Rose, you have something?
So. Have you update on the power? We have a survey. I think it's not, but we're looking to see that, like, basic question, whether you, something that not. That's gonna go out. And we can talk about what we want to do. Situations are better. Contact everybody. Using. One of the ideas
Yeah, and to clarify on that, before the Worthy Port Committee can spend funds, they need approval of the select. So the idea of if someone applied and we said, well, we feel that they qualify for this amount, before we can give that amount, it needs to come before the select. So the idea was put forward of some kind of either a prepaid item or some kind of voucher that would allow, as long as they met certain requirements or certain criteria for an equivalent that has already been approved and funded to be given to them. So for example, if a person needed food and we already had a $50 voucher or gift card to Shop and Save that allowed them to pick up non-alcoholic tobacco or prepared food items. If the board has already approved the expenditure of funds to get those vouchers, then it would not need to come in front of the board again, because it's already been approved. So the idea was for an amount to be put forward for food and fuel, which are generally the,
So that's how you do it.
So-
At a minimum, one time, probably three,
so where, so the question comes to where does the board sit on that, and if the board has recommendations as to how they, the board like us to pursue this as to whether the board would be amenable to something such as a prepaid gift card or a prepaid voucher for food, fuel, or some other category, or if that is not something the board would support and would like a different avenue.
talk about the give me one thought, the what ifs, if you don't want to think about the coming to you know that. One of them, the history was, we talked about. Now, I'm just saying, we try to eliminate all thoughts. Yeah, but maybe. That's all. Yep. That's what you should.
Is the board amenable to us bringing forward specific amounts for vouchers that the town will approve up to that amount being issued? Let's say if we said $1,000 worth of vouchers for fuel to be issued in no more than $100, or we're saying 50. Because I don't think they're gonna come out for under a certain amount.
Yeah, well, it's, at the beginning, it was 35. Not 35, but maybe 30. Everybody's on the town, especially somebody's got 5 million paying against that. Probably. So it's sticking out. I was trying to ask the question. An emergency situation, so how much do you have to also be careful to get to this person?
And I said about 4 gallons on most cold nights.
So if you
Would be gone.
Most people, that's how they make it. But then if you're when you're living also, that's another, I'm talking about single minutes, but we just kind of, you might have to detail of the that emergency. Other than that, we would have to.
We would have the criteria, but
So if somebody walks. What would be that? Other than the word. Not trying to be cold hearted or anything,
No.
but it's
this is,
anybody can walk.
this is exactly what we're bringing from the board.
And
I've-
that is, if we go with my job, is to go to the community, but if they don't qualify for these DAs, then pretty much there's nothing else. And I know it's a lot, sometimes you never take that long, stuff has some problem. five minutes, and it was night. And talking to kind of. So it's almost a legal thing. That 5 minutes. If we don't need the type of the application, that's what we need. Then I don't understand that. I mean, if they come in and say you have that, it's not because most people don't want it. Everyone. Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a recommendation of roughly a $25 equivalent. They can get up to $25 worth on this voucher, because that's roughly 5 or 6 gallons generally, depending on the going rate, which again is 5. The board being amenable to those vouchers being made available such that no more than an amount gets approved. So let's say the board approved expenditure of $250 worth of vouchers and $25 denominations, then we would be able to move forward with those until we got select board approval to extend that amount. So is the board amenable to that?
Yeah, but
Yes.
I'm wondering, I keep flipping back. Are you? The vote?
I'm asking whether the board's amenable to that, at which point, if the board's an absolute,
In the board, if they're going to.
okay,
What I
if
heard.
the,
asking for funds to move forward with that RFC.
State.
okay,
Got the special town meeting coming up.
so,
So basically that one can be used ever and not be. So what's the point of it?
well, it was approved for GA and
That's true.
it was approved for GA, it was approved for the $5,000 for the scholarship, and it was approved for expenditure on the donations. So it's just simply what we need to do between now and when the warrant's put together, we need to come forward with, we are looking for approval to expend up to X amount of money for for emergency services such as emergency voucher. So we would need to, realistically, realistically, the amount that we'd probably need to come up with would be like 2,500 to get approval thereof. Correct.
But it's there, okay. And that way we can cover anything else.
And that would bring us to budgetary as well. I can put that together, so we should probably put in some soon to discuss the amount that we're looking at. Then I put them together.
I would do it around this. Regular days.
cemetery committee last Thursday. I didn't think you guys had a meeting.
This summer about visiting, we usually met on a Wednesday. Opposite of you. You just have to repeat it.
I just didn't, you guys decided, but I,
Okay. Oh, I didn't know, remember. You don't.
All right, you have anything else?
When are we planning to put forward the warrant for the town meeting on the fourth or 18th, or when we're looking to do that? I assume the 18th, so we can kind of get everything in line. We meet the fourth, we meet September 4th and then September 18th. And it would probably be wise of us to do it on September 18th so that we have everything together and we're not having to change things. So
You know, not gonna. I get it, 'cause, you know, and I use the word legal faith. Character, but I'm not speculating certain things about but if we are looking at empowering that for us, so that we're not going to
I'll word it in such a way that that it would give us the power to extend this.
Anything else?
Think so?
Make a motion, we adjourn. In favor?
Why don't we discuss that?
That's why I gave you the blind board. I know.